This video shows how to use Judy's Magic Cast On to do a provisional cast on. And I'm doing this for a project that's going to be in the summer 2019 issue of Cast On. And in it, I have one half of a piece going in one color and the other half of the piece going in the other direction in a different color. And this is as easy way to do that as any. And what you need are two circular needles. And I've, as a safety precaution for me, I've got two different size needles and two different cable needles, because often when I'm using two needles, I get them mixed up and then I wind up having to undo stuff. So this is just a safety precaution for me. Now, if you've used the Judy's Magic Cast On before, you know that you usually start with a slip knot or wrap it at the bottom, and then you have enough yarn for the cast on in one strand. But since I've got two strands, I've got a knot tied here. And to get started, I'm going to, actually, I'm going to twist that around. I want to have my dark gold on top. So it's on the top needle. And then I'm going to wrap the lighter needle, lighter color there on my bottom needle. And I'm going to put that over the needle, over the needle, over the needle, over the needle, in between. And you can see that I'm just catching a couple of strands. And one of the things you want to do when you use this cast on is make sure that you have the same number of stitches on each piece. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, when I'm ready to work it, if I were doing Judy's Magic Cast On for the toe of a sock, I'd be working in the round in the same color. But I'm doing a scarf flat, where this color is going to be the provisional cast on that I'm going to work from later. And these are the stitches I want to work on right now. And notice that my yarn is not anchored here. That's kind of a problem. So what I'm going to do for the first row is I'm going to kind of catch it by moving that yarn there. And if you've used this kind of cast on before, you know that the reason why you're using double points is so that you can slide the needle and you have the cable, and that makes it possible to knit these stitches. So I'm just going to knit these stitches. And in a real life project, if I were doing a provisional cast on those lower stitches, I would put them on a holder or waste yarn or something, and then work with them when I want to. Just keep them in place until I needed them, and I just continue to work from this point. But right now, so I can show you how to work those stitches for the first time, I'm going to shift my needles. Now, if I were doing Judy's Magic Cast On and I were doing this in the round, I would be working on this end. But I have a problem here in that my working yarn is way back over here. So my first row, whoops, wrong way, is going to be a wrong side row. And I shift my needles around so I can see those stitches, get my working yarn, where is it? And I work them. Now, one of the things about Judy's Magic Cast On, and you do it the way that I do it, is that on that top needle, the stitches are twisted. And so in order to untwist them, you just work them through the back. Whoops. Back. Back. Through the back. And the first row can be a bit tricky because you are working them through the back. There is a thunderstorm going on right now, so if you hear some loud noises, that's what it is. Okay, so you can see that I have stitches on both sides of the needles in different colors, and if I look at it this way, the stitches are continuous, and if I look at it this way, the stitches are continuous, and all is wonderful with the world. Now, the reason that I chose to do that is I am working a scarf to go along with Binka Schwan's skill building article. And the skill building article is about double decreases on the right and the wrong side. And so I thought it'd be fun to pick a pattern where the points extend down. So on this side, notice that my chevrons, I haven't worked that much, are pointing in that direction. And if I turn it this way, my chevrons are pointing in the other direction. Now, if I'd worked it flat, all of the chevrons would have been working in the same part, pointing in the same direction. And I thought that'd be fun. Now, the other reason I did that is, if you notice, the chevrons on, this side have a central double decrease. And this is a decrease that the center stitch lays on top of. Let me see if I can make that a little larger. Yep. The center stitch lays on top of the the stitches to either side. And you can make this decrease on the right or the wrong side. And one other reason I chose this pattern is because every other row, those decreases are worked on the right and on the wrong side. This stitch pattern has 5 rows, so that means that sometimes this decrease is going to occur on a right side row, and on other places it'll be on a wrong side row. Now if I turn the scarf over and look at this one, notice that I have selected a different type of double decrease. In this case, the center stitch is below, and the 2 stitches on either side are covering those. And that's another reason I thought this would be a fun little project for this particular article. And when this stitch pattern is blocked, it looks like this. This is going to be a very airy kind of scarf. There's God, every time I look at this, I have to look to make sure I'm going on the right side, because it looks good both upside down and right side up. So that's how you use the Judy's Magic Cast On to do a provisional cast on. And I've done this before. And in a real project, let's say I was picking up a band or something on the bottom, I would just have these stitches on a holder, and then when I needed them, I'd work them. But in this case, I wanted to test out that stitch pattern, which is why I started it.